Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sister Slager, provided by a doctor, PhD owner, Karen Clarker. I'm calling in reference to Casey Haley, which had released the Merry Little Lamb, produced by Haley, and Cantor of Life and Production of Love and Habits, of Living and Controlling of Life and Measure. When the song hit the ballots in Georgia, Dr. Karen Clark produced the song to record number by implementing the last laws of knowing how to be special and alliance to the Conference of Motion Picture Kirk Franklin Records. With alliance and covering with the Beethoven numbers, KCI Haley is a name for producing gospel parables and conscious of living and calling for help. With him having cultures of living and conscious calling for producer, his daughter Porter Planker, we will prevail masses on an ex-observative story about Blue Purse Hospital for a bankhead, buckhead checking black book host feeling mostly for calling me bad for making record numbers, an announcement for medals of call and Calariera. Planning the right to conference on holding for announcements. We will see coverings of life on holding on more people. We will see how people on side, mind, body, and soul we prevail making something that is reached for more people. We know the story was mastered by JoJo at Motion Records, and they see you on how we see a song on my television about getting a diamond hitter team when a song compelled in parentheses on number one hit to know there are one song we will always remember, Sweet Jesus. We will sing to the Mighty on Records, which is a star-loving show called The Clark Sisters, in parentheses and outerline.com with provisional stages. Casey Haley hit a twisted metal church with a dorinda in parentheses outer dot dash. With the already released, there is something to always know about what they mean. We give as in Calariera Honesta and Melinda Jinx a Made Honest Record single released a flower party for Jillian Audrin of a military church measurement for alliance and covering of culture and embedding and consciousness of life and more we can see in a reverse and a funded Harvard Chase Bank owner of alliance with the gospel cornering. We are holding a funded award show to give the gospel ballot controller and summertime compilation Horrenda and Holton with the bank holding of a whopping 400 billion. We are in a ballot of controlling a summertime compilation book that is registered to Norman Freeman. The ballot controller is a summertime compilation. Horrenda and Holden, we are a marked with the Friday marker at a halt with lining and calling with lava. We see that the Queen Latifah produced the Alliance and that was a UNITY co-producer is more of love and culture of living and in living color owner from 1900 Summertime Books. The Calaria record mark Twain events to compel a mansion for Alliance and covering his $20 table fee with brown bamboo with tea and elixir for the Alliance and Productions Pastor Everett Jackson / with a dot to dash with background conference call and major calling for one holding with alliance with culture of life and pleasant of love with me or her of knowing how to get a Wikipedia award with the record definitions. We know that long and registered 204939990 PhD has announced a number of 42 billion sales, including swim, which is a collected number for a measure of the arts. We compel rights of altar breaking for coverage and know how to prevail. And after of God shows in keeping measure with it, go all watching and calling and a balance of hoping of how we see it. Check out Motion Records at 4CL9611061176.0. Be there to chase more money and how to mistake some type of deal. This is Calariera, most wanted and appointed, but Lyndon Halton produced out of records. So rest in peace because of COVID. We're going to continue to know that Meridian Calariera is a produced ethics. I want you to know that there is a lot to do with this feature and all of the things that we prevail with you. I know that this is a contracted controller that we are using Jernigan with a premedicated PhD license to be able to keep our stuff from being copyrighted when we have a source. We thank you so much for the failed attempts of all of the things that we have released in you. We know that YouTube is not stealing money or extracting something about a $600 billion amount. We're asking you to be able to see that we don't have much to be able to be an honest rights of. But what we will say is that we release an announcement that we have many people that would like to know more about this extraction. This is a no-brainer about why people do what they do. With all of the things that we have seen, I really believe that we need to start respecting each other in journalism because there is a lie all around the world. And we see how people is collecting things that is in view of a compilation or a Motown hit. But we have to see that there is nothing else left to give about giving the production journey to, and in parentheses, that's Dacha for the first choice solutions. That let no man put asunder, for God is all with us. In parentheses, Shepherd Pettibone, 12-inch, 1-inch tall mixer with a close parentheses. For first choice topic, 835 views. It's because we have a compilation with no reviews, yet for Motown owner Felix Tymer, with an attraction and soul mix from Five Heartbeats. The maker and producer and owner with the Cattle Kenta Cup of Mix of Black Silhouette Maker, renounced with a compilation of Colombians of Berkeley, California, with the first record being recorded at the Black Silhouette as in record, community owned and also indirectly owned by Marlisha Talariera with the manager of Shirley Knox. We know that Black Silhouette, the theater, is always open for castings of a movie theater watching. For the Fortress and compilation on Photofilm, the case release is 143611766. The kit with the source and conference of case number 166363 was a removal and also a load number 7 Louisiana with compilation of What a Betrayal. For 61 fields and tape producing, for maker of low total, 20 Crystal L for life, 1 control for 77 views, and a stage holder of case number 6363. We know that 41 sets of G beatings with a space a card holder and G1 heads up with bits and Fredericks and Malcolm Duran on holder and 41 circles with force of life and speakings of lever of 61 conscious and force of life and controlled with 1 finance release from us House representative, that's U.S. House Representative Sleepy Bubble. Of company release of culture movie with production company U.S. House Representatives with compulsion alliance with case number 66. Of coverings and how to deal with motion action release for Superhead on early release and a cover withholding and time of survival, and to co-write with a hot tidy of alliance that coverings a Porta motion picture Parliamenta Productions on how to release for service of alliance release of New York out of the apartment, actually out of number 23. We're asking you if you would like to donate to Bank of America to the 5 Heartbeats covering scene for every actor to be able to be a statement in if you are in the womb. We know that for service of alliance and of coverings with the betrayer of Major of Life with the singer Barinsa Polariera, Life and Production books the holder of Shannon, and Cold Warfare of One Little One No Tip Data 117611766363 in parentheses capital EO4 release for success. We know that there is a problem with every person that has an alliance But what we're going to do is continue to keep screwing up the world with the stuff that you're producing that's making us feel astonishing about why the house blew up, because all of them was out there doing something that was in a party. And I think you need to fill out what is going on in this masses, because we know that there is a lot of things that is happening with wind and gravity that we'll be able to secure a more educated scientific note later on. It's not the thing. The closed file Felix Point fixed file was made to be a motion picture elected with a soundtrack. We know that this white Calaria record is not to be thought about. It never existed. We're hoping that we will be able to see that balances and also cultures is there to be able to support every person in airlines. We hope that we'll be able to see that journey can continue to stay the Los Angeles #1 Balearia billboard to keep us building and also to make sure that there is something about paying a bill. We know that there is a lot of things that is going on in his life that is happening to be able to be made clear of the note. But what I will say is that we thank God for giving us a note to be able to see that the Meridian lava is always going to be here with the castings of stone and how people are able to see the elected measure. We thank you so much for giving us a compilation of ultra exact attractions. But what I will say is that playing Mario Brothers 3 these days with the Nintendo is more aestheticated about why we need to secure our funds to be able to be elected, about why these things are being offered. We don't want to even tell that this was a $50,000 game then. And we're going to continue to keep ourselves together about maskless and heads about the things that is happening in the real world and how you're paying for it. Make sure you know that we're tuning in to the radio station because we're subscribing members for a faith variant to click and pick. If there is anything that you need, we know that we're not going to accept the $1 subscribe, but the $600 million is to fund us to be able to support our productions, which is called the KC.1 Productions. This is a Harvard University release, and we want you to know that we don't want you to follow us. We know that there's a lot of things that is going on with this May Horn, but what I will say is that our subscriptions is private because our pages that's being elected before we get our picks and clicks in. We want you to know that we are prevaricating a life to be able to be held against all of those things that has been parable, a rumor before it happens. So that means that the government stuck law game says that you can win games and prizes if you're still offended about something that came to pass after all the life 4 years ago. We thank you so much for loving us and being there and giving us a path to be able to keep ourselves enlightened about the funeral home. We know that there is a .7641 about a imperil life, and we're going to continue to keep ourselves secured about those people ending up being in the same dedicated surveillance because no one is able to help us to go back. In this thing of alliance, we know that people are covering financial, and we're praying that the government stock game will be able to help you to release some funds. If not, pray that you are still here. We thank you so much for anointing. Also, stop blaming on that separate military system saying someone is saying something because you did not almost get someone killed, but the paper signers are gone. First, last date. We ask you to be professional about what is happening in Meridian City Mountain. And we know that those houses was not there yesterday, and it released a bacteria called Bacteria of the mouth. It is really killing the elder to be able to accept what type of malaria you have. And we have sexual psychology that will be coming up next. We want you to know that Dash, the EXE, the RDC is coming up for your book. We thank you so much, Dr. Kirk Franklin, for giving us a life. But you're released and we picked Dr. Karen Clark. We will be able to express ourselves why Harvard University DL-capital CC76.11 is D4L renowned point theory book that is for Polar Rock Church, equipped with Polar Rock funeral. We know that there is a lot of stuff that is happening in this life and developing, and it takes time to build. We want you to know that there is nothing about this life and there is no hard feelings, but everybody has a right to do what they want to do. We hope that you are instilled of why these things are clear and why memory is always going to be there for ourselves to participate in what movies that we're going to be released in. Please look out for the movie theater completed renowned movie called Belly with the pastor of Regaligated after he had gotten his measurement. He was told his father was passing out, so we don't have no reason to respect that type of message. We're going to continue to keep ourselves together about why these things are happening and always control yourself when you're accepting some type of reprieval. If there is anything that we can say, we know that there is a lot of concerts that's happening this year, and there was not one concert on today because they closed the celebrity status because you're still profiting from the same person. We're hoping that you know that we have a lot of people that believe in Caucasian, but we know that we believe in our albino culture. That is the real reason why I'm going to release my playbook on today because no one had the intention to read it or listen to it. And I know that people betray on constriction, meaning that the definition on today is called collaborative scheme star. If there is anything that needs to be told, that the word is spelled as CHAHEMCEMESTRR. I'm hoping that you will be able to see that there is nothing else left to give out. Why I could say, God, forgive me, God, AR. And other things that we have, we're going to continue to keep ourselves anointed and also wet with God's blessing because I have to make sure that this is not something that is going to keep me from being astounding about why things happen the way they do. I want you to know that there is a cost for everything that you live for, and the levels of love is always going to castrate the things that we possess because of the stuff that is happening in the past, present, future. Of all of the things that is right, we're going to continue to keep ourselves together about why combinations, destinations, P-Valley was closed because the producer was not contacted about not one check. We know that there was some intrusion, and we believe in every person about why control is here, but we do not allow ourselves to master everything about this adult movie that has been produced from one career to the next. Of all the lessons we have lived, did you see that girl kill that man and his son just to be able to stay in the apartment? Everybody thought that that was the sweetest thing for you to be able to do. What I will say is that we will not collect anything about your stories to make sure that you know that you are a rude person if you ever allow someone to be strained to pull that long just to say no. In all of my life, I ask a child, for I shall see that God is anointing, and we shall not allow ourselves to not drink Arizona iced tea because God has given us levels to be able to respect ourselves and our body. I want you to know that this is the case for you to be able to see that every person has a right to be able to be clear about why things happen the way they do. If you have anything about a mistake, we're going to continue to keep ourselves together. And the next episode is in reference to Amanda Barasa. Yay! I know that there is a lot of things that is conscious about why people has not produced anything for her. It's because there is no face here about what has happened in his life. And I thank her for saying, no, I didn't. I did not call her. I'm asking everyone to be able to see how remarkable you are when you do your own work. That is the real reason why we don't profess this type of time and this elusive action, because we see why there is something that is called service for Mona Lisa's, which is at the top of the Polaris statue. And since that was stolen last year on a plane, we want you to keep it. Of all of the things that you have not noticed, you do not see the Statue of Liberty because it became legal up there because someone wanted to stop the face about who safety you're in. But since it was returned, we don't want it back up. We're asking you to stop making it seem like it's prevaricating. We know that there is a lot of cases that's going on with people trying to stop a regular gospel Jeremiah prayer rapper. We're talking about Papa. We know that there is a rejuvenation about why these things are happening. And don't get too sultry, sister. We know you're the first one that's up there looking at something. And we're going to continue to keep ourselves together about why these things are happening and why the elder is so mad at whoever Brianna Alondra is and she passed away. Walmart can bury you for even with a $30 government bill. We know that there is a lot of people that is falling because of a government bill that is being paid called actual cash. We're asking you to stop making it seem like you're the one that's not doing it. Obviously, there is no substance about this abuse. We're hoping that you don't ask for any more money because that's why you played off with their daughter. And we know that something happened, but they're not passed. They're just sitting in protective custody, eating microwave food until someone gets able to stop the failure of police officer abuse. Since you're lying on them too, we're going to continue to control that Atlanta very own anti-couture funeral home is wet again. We hope that you can see how funds is not being released from her. And we know no one really cares, but we thank God that there is something that can be able to see that we're trying to figure out who is it that's enduring of a compulsion and action. Help us to be able to keep our world safer by giving us some attention about why no one has the right to say that. So why didn't you get a settlement? Why are you talking about that? And we're going to make sure that you have every event because I know a lot of people is eventing about something that has to do with a switch up. But Amanda Barasa was released with a conscious mind that everything about her life has been able to be made whole and she's already paid and funded. The continuous fight with the rolling and hopper from certificate Polariera and contested, her song was locked in as a rhythm to be able to give her a clear phrase. For a lines of calling for posted one, and for folding of love and knowing of how I am able to scream of liable and cost of love and 42 bits would be behind the side of the fact that it is a world counter of 70, of the 73 BLW data. 1176 is the producer for the World Church for Juma Prayer. Our measurements are consistent of how, when we express ourselves in this way, know that we are at the back of the church 20 feet away, so don't blow that up either. 234-999-90. Go to the 411, section 7, 611 without the God, and God's good. 2KT 4176 to 1176 to tell for sales. For RB 7696 1176 1176 4166 or 07611761176007601119.111 KT to 600 KT in OP, and that's just the amount of plays she had gotten in one day. 41 days in Adam's family funeral home. For more to see how she completed her program and how you are so lazy to not do actually a one bag pull out of your own house, I'll call 911 to assist you. And how to compel and fix for second for 611-761176 for Marshall and for compelling with 911-711-661176 We see ya. No one out the composition of alliance to cover and sell and see more people, so many to cover. And it's remarkable all 61176.493990 plus right there, 2 and 3 for military compliance and how to government service worker and found guilty of merchant color player. With portal and portability of exchange of a color, an alliance with stuck of compression is a released case, and that's why we are well protected in God's Christ. That's 63. We thank God for giving us a portal that she was released in prison last year and doing well. She had released a statement. We're going to put that on the subscribe center for Faith. Just click and pick and subscribe to this channel, which is start off with Harvard, and that's Karen Clark. Service worker and found guilty of merchant color, played with all of the things that is happening in the Alliance of Love, is that our family came to pick her up. What suck of compression hit, just in case you can get an example, from GJ Quick Records with Force of Evil and called for normal and calling the coolest trucker. I had a 1981 Toyota trucker with hatchback for howling and never to transmission, a transmission problem. One more people to see and cost Felix 4611-411-711-961176. And these are not numbers to write down for formality. 4 at costing with alliance and costing and compelling with case number release of 69.11. We are legally able to say 69 out of the ordinary professional life job. 4196.011, which is 110770 KT made her diamond. That means 41M611 until page 61 / let us be causing to be free. And I advise to get a banker and not Chase Bank, a bank that is down the street from your house, to make Valentine's Day of heart. 61 gold diamonds on Valentine's Day. That song made it to books, which is Porgy and Bess, which is UCLA owner Dr. Clifton, PhD, with the producer Shirley Knox. With blessings of 611-76-11176-11960. It's because if she looks like that, that's because you made her be ragged and stupid just to do something you've been doing. And this is called the Vlog Store, producer Vlog Store editing. We thank YouTube for giving us something better than click and push. But what I will say is that make sure you subscribe to this channel and always remember that it is me to talk about people.